What's up, guys? Isaiah from Hot Tag Wrestling, and today I'm coming at you with a new video concept called Matches of the Month, where each month I'm going to go through and give you the best must-see match from four of the top wrestling promotions on earth: WWE, AEW, New Japan, and TNA. I'm going to decide based on my own personal opinions and star ratings what the best match from each promotion was of that month, present them to you guys, and tell them how you can go watch them. I figured since 2025 just started, we'll start with January. That'll be a good launching point and hopefully continue this for the rest of the year. If you guys like the video, please consider subscribing down below as well as leaving a like and a comment, as it really does help a new channel like mine to grow. But with all of that being said, let's go ahead and get into it with our AEW match of the month. So to start in AEW, we are going to go to the January 18th episode of Collision Maximum Carnage and discuss a match that I believe no one would have predicted would have made this list when it was announced. And that is Hangman Adam Page versus Christopher Daniels in a Texas death match. This match was absolutely fantastic. It was such an over delivery in every single way. And it really shouldn't be surprising that this match was so good, because Adam Page, really more than anyone else in AEW, more than Moxley and more than Strickland, is the king of the death match. But Christopher Daniels is a lot older than most of other wrestlers who Page has had these great death matches with. He hasn't wrestled in a long time, and more than that, he's been presenting this authority character on AEW TV that a lot of people have not gelled with. It's sort of a representation of one of the worst storylines in AEW at the moment, which was the Elite storyline from last year, and sort of the continuation and dregs of that leading into the Death Rider storyline. A lot of that is centered around Christopher Daniels as a character, so people weren't really excited for this match. I personally thought going into this match, it's going to be 3 minutes long, and Paige is absolutely going to murder Christopher Daniels. But it wasn't that. It was 18, 20 minutes long, more of your traditional death match, back and forth, table spots, chair spots, barbed wire spots, a lot of different stuff. The reason this was so good was two reasons, really, I would say. Firstly, it really continued to push Hangman Page's new character forward. I shouldn't say new necessarily, because he has been dealing in this sort of sick, demented person since his feud with Swerve Strickland at the end of 2023 into 24. But now he's sort of becoming a little bit more remorseful, I would say. He's becoming a little bit more humanized on his way to a potential babyface turn later down the line this year. And it was so beautifully reflected in this match, but not enough to the point where he didn't still kill Christopher Daniels. And the other thing I'd like to talk about that I thought this match did really well was Christopher Daniels really putting in a shift, taking a lot of violence in this match, a lot of bad moves, but also everything he did offensively, the moonsaults, the dives, everything he did looked great. You could tell he knew going into it this was going to be his last retirement match, an absolute legend of the business, and he wanted to give everything. He's going to be sore until 2026 as a result of this match because he went so hard. I gave this match 4.5 out of 5 stars. I think there are other things in January that approach the greatness of this match, but it was such a surprise and over delivery to the storyline going into it that it was a joy to watch. So it is our best AEW match of January. Next, we're going to move on to New Japan, and we are talking about Kenny Omega versus Gabe Kidd from Wrestle Dynasty. There is nothing really approaching this match from the New Japan catalog. Not to say that there hasn't been great stuff from Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty. There was a lot of great matches that had potential to be on this list, but this match was such a generationally great blow away match for so many reasons. I covered a lot of them in my Wrestle Dynasty review, so you can go there to check out my full review. I'll just hit on a couple points here. I've loved Gabe Kidd for a long time, but this really felt like a star-making performance where now he is in the wrestling zeitgeist. People are talking about him. He is getting mainstream popularity as a result of this match. And Kenny's first match back really, it wasn't the Kenny of old because he wasn't moving at 100 miles an hour, doing some of the most ridiculous offense you've ever seen. But it showed that he is just what an incredible storyteller he is in the ring, was displayed beautifully in this match. I loved everything about it. And the thing that really got me, that really pushed it to the 5-star mark, was the story of a Gabe Kidd representing New Japan, giving the young lion attire and treatment as he was coming out, and Kenny Omega seemingly being this interloper who's coming in, and the New Japan fans who loved him for so long rejecting him because he left them and went to AEW. It was a beautiful piece of storytelling throughout the match. I gave this 5 stars. It was an easy 5 stars for me. Such incredible storytelling mixed with great physical chemistry, and I loved Hiroshi Tanahashi crying at the end. Next, we're jumping to TNA, who only had one major show this month, that being Genesis. And there was really 2 matches I had in consideration for this. One was Jordynne Grace versus Tessa Blanchard, which I'm not going to talk about, but is a great match. The one I am going to talk about is Josh Alexander versus Mike Santana in a no disqualification match. I loved this match. I love both guys in it. Josh Alexander is one of my favorite wrestlers on the planet, and Mike Santana, since coming into TNA last year, has done such an incredible job about setting himself in the top brass of the company. And similarly to Omega versus Kidd, it felt like the person who everybody loves, the up and coming star, going up against this guy who the fans hate, not only because he's playing a heel, but also because he's leaving. Josh Alexander is leaving, potentially going to AEW, I think the rumors are right now. And Mike Santana is the up and coming babyface who is chasing the title, will eventually get a world title run, I'm sure. And everyone was just so behind Santana in this match. And it had incredible action throughout. I don't like plunder brawls. I've been on the books many times saying that I don't like it when guys just go out there and do a bunch of chair shots or a bunch of table spots and throw thumbtacks in there for no earned reason. I don't like that. But the reason I like this match is because the weaponry was so cleverly incorporated into what was a normal Josh Alexander versus Mike Santana match. So it wasn't weapon spot, weapon spot, weapon spot. It was story, 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 weapon spot to accentuate it. Story, 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 weapon spot. They used the weapons in this match so brilliantly to accentuate the story beats they were hitting. And it did a really good job about making Mike Santana seem like the world conquering babyface who can beat Moose. He can beat Eric Young. He can beat Josh Alexander. There's no one he can't beat on his way to a TNA world title. And for that reason, for the craft of it, as well as for my hope of the future for TNA, with Mike Santana being one of the top guys, this is my top match of the month. I give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. And we're finishing up with WWE. The Royal Rumble was one day off from being in consideration, but we will probably be talking about that event in the February Matches of the Month video. But for January, we're going to look all the way back to January 6th, the debut episode of Raw on Netflix. And we're looking at the main event, which was Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. And this match is great for a couple reasons. Firstly, it is great because it was sort of the lone highlight on this sort of whatever show, where most of it was a lot of returns, a lot of people talking for a long time. This being a really piece of seminal great action stood out amongst the rest of the background. But also in isolation, it was a great match on its own. They had a lot of great chemistry. It's one of those matches where Seth and Punk said, all right, we're going to go out there. We're going to have a great match, but let's see what else we can incorporate. Let's move outside of our normal move sets, our normal repertoires, to see what we can throw at them to really surprise the fans, as well as cleverly incorporating our normal signature and finishing moves into the body of the match. And it is a Seth Rollins versus CM Punk match. Both guys, at least in my mind, I feel like in a lot of people's minds, are known for a little bit of sloppy wrestling in the ring, maybe stuff that doesn't look too impactful, and that definitely happened in this match. But overall, I feel like they overcame it. And one of the benefits they had was they had a really strong story coming in with a lot of heat between these two guys. So you could really believe everything they were doing. They were laying it in a little bit more than usual. And I just really loved the way they built to the climax of this match. A lot of the near falls. It's one of the better matches this month that I can point to where the near falls continuously build and build and build to the point where you can't believe they're kicking out at the end, leading to the final spot where Seth is not able to kick out of the GTS. It was a great match, and I feel a great way to end what was ultimately a pretty mid first episode of Raw on Netflix. I gave it 4.25 out of 5 stars. So those are my 4 must-see matches of the month. If you're looking to watch Adam Page versus Christopher Daniels, you can check out Triller, Max, or whatever your cable provider is. If you want to see Kenny Omega take on Gabe Kidd, New Japan World, NJPW World is what you want to check out. Josh Alexander and Mike Santana can be viewed on replays of Genesis from TNA Plus, and Seth Rollins versus CM Punk is on Raw on Netflix. Go check these matches out and give them some love. And let me know what you thought down in the comments below. Was there another match that sort of superseded some of the things I was talking about here? Something that got left out but you think was better than the matches I'm talking about here? Was there any matches from other promotions that I should have watched and highlighted in this video? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're down there, please subscribe, leave a like, as it really does help a new channel like mine to grow. But with all of that being said, I have been Isaiah from Hot Tag Wrestling. I would like to thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you next time.